Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. In this video, I'm going to react to what is inside Fort Knox. Now this is something I have actually thought about because I heard that Fort Knox is one of the most unbreachable places on earth. I think I also got told that it's full of like gold. A lot of the USA's gold reserve is in Fort Knox. I'm not sure if it's still there. So this video here is by Weird History, who's like a tremendous channel. I'm hoping it's going to be full of gold really, and I hope we get to see pictures of all the gold bars, but either way it should be fun, so let's do it.
According to the U.S. Mint, half of the United States Treasury's gold is stored at Fort Knox. Considering that it's the largest and most famous piggy bank in the United States, we know surprisingly little about what happens on the inside. Today, we're looking at the mysteries of Fort Knox. Located outside of Louisville, Kentucky, the U.S. Army base houses the majority of our nation's gold reserve and is so exclusive that even U.S. presidents aren't invited. The top-secret nature of the base has predictably led to an array of theories surrounding what's really hidden within its heavily guarded walls. So what do we know about this extremely protected stash of American fortune? Let's look at the fort's history and many mysterious facts. But before we do that, be sure you subscribe to the Weird History channel and leave a comment. Tell us how much you like our videos. Great. Let's blast that past.
All right.
Originally named Camp Henry Knox after the first Secretary of War, the fort was constructed during the Civil War. It was largely used as a military outpost and artillery training facility right until World War I. It was only in 1932, right after the First War ended and the troop count greatly reduced, did the camp's name get permanently changed to Fort Knox. The construction of the U.S. bullion deposit.
Very solid looking building, you know, just thick concrete walls. Yeah, you're not going to get into this easily. And plus, I'm sure there's various other, secret obstacles that you'd have to traverse to get in.
Later began in 1935, and by 1937, the vault began receiving its first shipments of gold, care of the post office. But don't go picturing an army of exasperated mail carriers. The future USPS used a special 9-car train manned by machine guns and protected by a U.S. cavalry brigade. Not quite your Nana's birthday card. Well, maybe, depending on your Nana. World War II brought whole new worries for the United States, including the possibility that our nation's capital might be attacked by outside forces. As a result, the Bill of Rights, Declaration of Independence, and Constitution were all moved to Fort Knox 2 weeks after the attack on Pearl Harbor. Sealed in lead, they were kept in a protective container far away from any Axis bombing.
Lead? Why lead? I think lead is quite a heavy metal, so is it just for durability reasons? Or is it so that you can't scan, you can't see through? Does lead stop, X-rays or things like what is it? Why did they choose lead as the container material?
Or a treasure hunting Nicolas Cage. All of those items remained hidden until 1945, when America and its allies declared victory. With that, the threat was deemed squashed and the documents moved back to Washington, D.C. But that's not the only time we've used the fort as a national lockbox. Only 1 year later, the Holy Crown of St. Stephen was given over to the U.S. by a Hungarian army colonel. Along with other jewels, the crown was kept for safekeeping at Fort Knox for the duration of the war. It was only later returned in 1978 by President Jimmy Carter.
Pro-democratic
Along with being used to protect our most important documents, Fort Knox was part of the U.S. effort campaign against the Nazis as an example of American strength. In his May 1941 article, How America Can Take the Offensive, Fortune writer Taylor Edmond proposed that we should use the gold to encourage Ford leaders to support the U.S. war effort. This example of might was later used during the Cold War as well, when the CIA used Operation Mockingbird to control information about their organization, as well as serve as the government-mandated hype man to Fort Knox.
Like a Bond
Not that
villain.
we're exactly shocked, but it turns out that Fort Knox is a bit more than rent-a-cops and metal detectors in terms of security. Along with an electric fence, the 100,000-acre facility is surrounded by
100,000 acres. That is huge. Massive, and I'm sure there's cameras everywhere.
An actual minefield keeping unwanted visitors out. And just to be extra safe, the whole perimeter is guarded by 4 machine gun towers manned by the U.S. Mint Police. The facility itself is no picnic either. It features video cameras, motion detectors, and secret microphones designed to single out any unusual presence. If a mouse sneezes, they know it. Don't even think about breaking in.
Is that Stuart Little?
Stuart Little. And if you manage to get past all of that, you still have to grapple with a 22-ton, 21-inch thick vault door designed to withstand guns, blowtorches, and explosive devices. You have absolutely no chance of sneaking inside. And let's be honest, you'll never have to worry about the 16,000 cubic feet of granite that encases the Fort Knox gold vault. You probably already took your licks at the machine gun minefield combo outside.
Wow. 21-inch thick door. So 21-inch, like, that's got to be, Jesus, like that thick or something like that, like of steel. How would you break in that? I mean, it's, oh gosh, virtually impossible. There's probably a way to do it, but I don't know.
Being a politician has enough job-related perks, so it's probably a relief to know that Fort Knox is almost completely off-limits from our elected officials. When Kentucky Congressman Brett Guthrie and U.S. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin visited in August 2017, they noted that it was the first time visitors were invited to the facility since members of Congress inspected the gold in 1974.
Look at all that gold, my God! And each, I think a gold bar is worth like £250,000 or something, like, to be honest, it's probably more. So just all of these bars, oh my God. I'm getting gold lust right now.
The place.
I feel like Smaug from those Lord of the Rings movies. The Desolation of Smaug.
Is so exclusive that even the U.S. Mint Police are handpicked and then trained extensively in weapons handling, movements, danger areas, cover management, contact and cover, 360-degree security, cornering, door entry, room clearing, and breaching. Even the leader of the free world doesn't get a peek. And the only president to ever step inside the vault was Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and only because he was president when the vault was first built.
Here we go, the big question.
The last audit of Fort Knox's gold was conducted in 1953 under the Eisenhower administration.
I'm guessing around $10 billion worth of gold. Might be more, though.
No outside experts were allowed inside, and the audit only managed to test 5% of the gold for purity. There has been no subsequent audit of the vault, despite then-presidential candidate Ron Paul challenging this in 2008. His audit failure led to much speculation and conspiracy theories. Despite public scrutiny, the U.S. Mint remains mum on proof of the 147.3 million ounces of gold claimed to be inside the vault. And so all evidence of this vast amount of treasure almost completely rests on a small group of people assuring us that it exists. Technically speaking, the vault could be filled with old newspapers and Wendy's wrappers, and we'd never know.
He said 140-something million ounces, and an ounce of gold, I think, is around, it's about £1,400, about $1,900 or $1,800. So we're talking hundreds of billions of dollars worth of gold. Man, oh my God.
The strange lack of evidence surrounding Fort Knox has attracted conspiracy theorists like bad photographers around Bigfoot. The most straightforward of them is from the Gold Antitrust Action Committee, which believes that the gold either never existed or has been slowly sold off and replaced with painted tungsten bricks. Other more creative theorists believe that the vault is secretly home to Jimmy Hoffa's body, biological weapons, or has been used to store drugs like morphine and opium. And of course, simply Googling the phrase Fort Knox Secret Aliens will open your world to a whole community of conspirators, including the story of an alien encounter right over the base. Called the Mantle Case, the alleged story begins in January 1948 when several soldiers spotted a bright white flying object from the control tower of the fort. 25-year-old Captain Thomas F. Mantle was sent to follow the craft in his F-51 Mustang fighter, only to crash in the pursuit. Before his death, the pilot allegedly described an object looking metallic and of tremendous size.
What?
We can't stop you from whatever you choose to believe about aliens, but as for all the theories on the actual gold in Fort Knox, well, that might be a bit moot. While while it's fun to theorize and wonder over the value of Fort Knox, it should be noted that the U.S. actually went off the gold standard all the way back in 1971. This means that the U.S. dollar has no relation to the value of gold, making whatever is inside of Fort Knox a commodity for the Treasury Department and unrelated to our larger economy.
So then why? Why have it then? If it's not a necessity anymore, why keep all that gold? Why keep all that huge wealth tied in that metal that's not doing anything apart from taking space in Fort Knox? Why not liquidate it and use that money for things, you know, that are pressing? You know, I don't know. Why keep it?
In other words, the gold in Fort Knox is more valuable for trading with other countries, or as former Federal Reserve Chairperson Alan Greenspan put it, it exists just in case we need it. Or if the government was feeling extra generous, they could simply melt it all down and give everyone in America their very own Lord of the Rings memorabilia. That's assuming the aliens didn't take all the gold already. So what do you think? What is in Fort Knox? Let us...
Really thought-provoking. I just, you know, the last point that was made about, you know, the gold standard no longer being implemented. So, because if we're talking hundreds of billions of dollars worth, but I guess, you know, there's no real need to liquidate it, you know, plus the value of the gold may increase. You know, a lot of people speculate that gold might reach $10,000 an ounce at some point, you know. Yeah, so I guess it's worth keeping hold of it. You know, if there's no pressing need, you know, why sell it? But then, you know, why keep it if you don't need it? Really, really interesting video though. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.